All right, we're back. And today's t-shirt is Dr. J. Converse. That was interesting. Dwayne Wade was a Converse guy, and then Nike purchased Converse, and then D Wade became a Jordan guy. It was interesting. But Converse is still going. Again, this is one of those shirts that I traded for back in the day. I think I got a few more. I'll see. So anyway, I want to talk about lifts real quick. Last time I asked you, what lifts do you think are the best lifts for you and why? So I'm just going to go over some of this lift action. So you got multi-joint actions, you got multi-muscle actions, and then you got fast movement actions. Multi-joint, multi-muscle, fast movements. Squats. So you got squats, clean and jerk, snatch, and the deadlift. With the squats, I told you already, time under load, it creates a whole bunch of extra stress on the torso and the skeleton bones. I talked earlier about the bones and the muscles and the whole calcium ion piece. When you add extra load on the body, you're requiring the system to have to do something. And that's not necessarily what you want. So squats aren't necessarily the best. Cleans and clean and jerk it's just a matter of time, to set them up. The snatch, the same thing. High risk with really getting that weight over your head like that. And again, if you're competing and you're being a bodybuilder, then these lifts are really important for you. And then the best one that I've seen is deadlift. It strengthens 85% of the muscles in the body. You got to keep that head up, eyes up, and drive through your feet. Does that sound familiar? It's the number one lift. Now, 95%, there's a 95% relationship between squats and deadlift in terms of strength. The squats definitely have a little bit more, but not that much, like 5% more. I'd rather do a deadlift with less injury possibilities than do a squat. Because the heavier the weight gets, the greater the risk of danger that comes with the squats. Okay? Just look on YouTube. You'll see some people falling over. So, the deadlift works the glutes, quads, and the hamstrings. And it works the other skeletal muscles as well, including the hands, arms, and shoulders. So it does get a lot of muscles working. Okay? Now, even though you may be lifting a heavy weight and you're moving that weight slowly, the body on the inside is moving rapidly. Your brain, like I mentioned about the nervous system, the axons and the ATP firing, all that's happening at enormous speed, even though you're lifting the weight slowly. And that means that you got muscle units firing, and that's what you want when you start your jumping or start your running. It's weird, but it works. So now the number one goal is mass-specific force. Now remember, just because you move a weight fast doesn't mean that you're going to be faster for moving the weights. That's amazing, but that's the way that it is. Mass-specific force. You want to increase your strength because that means you're going to be able to generate more force. When you can decrease the amount of time that you stay on the ground, that means that you're going to be off the ground higher or longer. That means you're going to run fast or you're going to jump higher. You want to make sure that you also be able to develop your torso, your core, because once you hit the ground and you begin to deliver greater force to the ground, that force is going to come back up through your body. So if your core isn't able to accommodate that, and it's an isometric force that's coming through your body, if you aren't able to accommodate that, you basically aren't going to get the maximum out of what you're doing. So the core becomes really important because it helps you to maintain stability while that force is coming through you. And that's why plyometrics are so important because they help transfer, it's super compensation. They help to move that energy through your body. Plyometrics does. And so a plyometric is the amount of force that you deliver in the shortest amount of time. So that's why they have you jumping off of stuff and on the stuff. And I'm not saying any of that is wrong. I'm just saying you can be more efficient with it and more effective with how you train to get that result. The number of loads, so you have a coil, okay, that's where the energy is stored. And then from there, you have an explosion or release. So that's basically a loading and an unloading. So when you increase your mass-specific force, that load is going to be more powerful so that when it unloads, you're going to explode. Okay? So think about, look at your lifts. Which lifts are best? Multi-joint, multi-muscle, fast movements. Is it equal to the deadlift, which presents, you with 95%? It's about 95% as effective as a squat. Remember that on the inside, even though on the inside things are moving rapidly, even though on the outside things may be moving slowly. Your number one goal is to develop mass-specific force. Without it, you're wasting your time. And a whole bunch of reps doesn't necessarily get it done. Go and examine the pyramid, the lift pyramid. Remember, your core has got to be stable. You got to strengthen your core so that you can really be stable, so that energy force coming through you can handle it. And then understand what happens in plyometrics. You have a loading phase and an unloading phase. All right, I'm out of here.